I am Donald J. Leske II, an ordained minister and a certified honorary doctor of divinity with the American Fellowship Church. Here are a few true stories from my past when I was in business. We sold our company in December 2019 and retired. The first story is about one day in January 2016. As I drove to work in my truck in a rush to get to Lowe's for materials, my mind was on how many board feet of flooring I had to purchase for several apartments I was trying to make rent ready near the McCord JBLM main gate in Lakewood. That's a military base. It's a joint Air Force and Army. As I drove down Bridgeport Way from I-5, I noticed a young man, his wife, and two very small children struggling to build up their courage to cross the very busy street and yet carry what appeared to be all their worldly belongings. My first thought for a brief second was, how sad. My second thought was, I really cannot just drive by and do nothing. So, without hesitation, I made a quick turn into the corner gas station just several feet from where they stood and tooted my horn, gesturing for them to come to me, come over here, like that. And so I rolled down the window and I asked the young man, what's going on, young man? Where are you going? And I introduced myself. He did the same. He briefly told me about how he lost his vehicle to mechanical failure, and then he lost his job because he couldn't get to work. So they stayed with his, or her family, I guess it was, her family, as long as they could, but in the end had to leave on foot, walking down the street with their last $200 in pocket for a couple days in a motel. I asked what skills he had. He said he could do most anything, including some electrical, plumbing, sheetrock repair, painting, and other remodeling work. Well, wow, I hadn't told him what I'm doing, so it just happens. As it happened, I just lost such a worker and really needed a replacement. So he had been honest about their hardship and seemed like a nice fellow. So I asked if he had a valid driver license and a clean record. He said yes. So I left it in the hands of God and offered him a trial job for 50% more than minimum wage. I think minimum wage at the time was $12 or $13. And I offered him a company van to drive, plus a remodeled apartment we had just finished. I told him if he did not work out as planned, then he would be let go, and he agreed. I told him to keep his $200 for food, and he could pay me back for rent over several small payments to catch up. Over the past 2 months, as of this writing, he has been one of our absolute best maintenance workers ever. Nice guy too, I like the guy. So I pray thanks to God for bringing him to me that day, and he said he has prayed thanks to God for bringing me to him in a time of need when all others, including family, had turned him away. Imagine the power of God. To me, that's a miracle. And everything I have, I attribute to God, and it's through my faith in God that I do everything that I do as I go forward every day in my life. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. Sometimes I curse. I've done some bad things. I've even been in prison before for 4 years. I've done some hard time. Not jail, but actually prison. So I've had some badness in my past, and I've done everything I could since then to make up for it in some way or another. And the only way I can do that is through the help of God. So imagine the power of God. Now that's one story. Okay, so get this. 1 week later, while I was at the motel to gather up our workers' belongings, I saw what appeared to be a young mother with really new baby leaving another apartment with a young, strong-looking young man, and they seemed sad. I left my truck and humbly went over and asked if everything was all right and did they need any help. He said he was from Jamaica originally, but has spent 8 years in our American military and could not find a job or a place to live. I told him of several community services like Catholic Community Services, Associated Ministries, and Helping Hands that could possibly help, and some has special veterans help. He didn't know about any of that. I don't know how somebody can come out of the military and the military doesn't help them, doesn't tell them about these resources. These are resources that are available to him. So I also told him I could help with a very cheap apartment through their voucher program. So I've been working with Associated Ministries who approached me knowing I was the property manager. I'm retired now, but at that time, we were managing about 500 rental homes and apartments. Boy, I tell you, when I sold the company, we had 13 employees. 2 were Filipino, best workers we've ever had. Anyway, I also told him about the voucher program. He was visibly moved by my offer, but I told him it was in the hands of God. I could do nothing without God's direction and guidance. Since then, we have been working on the help they needed. The new baby was just 2 days old, and they were about to go to the hospital to get the new mother's stitches out. The new mother had stitches. So anyway, that worked out pretty good because the voucher program basically gives them free rent because Associated Ministries is funded by different benefactors who gives them money to do things just like that. I was working with Pierce County Housing. Pierce County Housing is the suburb county that we lived in, and they also had their own voucher program, so I worked with them a little bit too. So that's the second, I'll call it a miracle, the second miracle. Okay, so somewhere in the midst of all this going on, I had seen a woman pushing a baby stroller in the rain. Man, I'll tell you, when these things happen, sometimes just 1, 2, 3 things happen as we go. And so, pushing a baby stroller in the rain, I stopped to give her an umbrella. I often carried 8 or 10 umbrellas. It rains a lot in Pierce County, Washington. So we were in, our office is in Lakewood, Washington, but that's attached to Tacoma. No, so I carried a bunch of these cheap umbrellas, didn't cost much. I gave her an umbrella as I often do when I can stock up on cheap and extras and see those in need on the street. She seemed in distress, and I found out that she had no place to go, no family in the area, and her boyfriend had to suddenly go away with no money, no food, no place to stay. I mean, this is real. I got them out of the rain and found out quickly that she did not know of the social help services available in Pierce County. So a couple of calls later, it was determined that she was eligible for emergency assistance. I mean, oh man, it is truly the power of God. You know, it's the only thing I can think of to really attribute that to. So now, we got her a voucher quickly and put her into a warm, dry, remodeled $650 a month apartment. Days, a microwave and some dishes, plus an air mattress, a blanket and a pillow. I told her she could thank God and Associated Ministries, not me. I'm only the messenger. God makes all these things happen. It's the power of God. It's a good thing. In my heart. We're living in the Philippines right now in Taguig, part of Metro Manila, and we're about to go out, hopefully this morning, and take food or rice to people that are in the street. They're sleeping on cardboard. Some of them have children. All families out in the street. And this sometimes happens because of the severe weather that once in a while hits these islands. Last December, there was a super typhoon. A super typhoon is, they haven't had one like that since the 50s, way back. So a lot of people got killed. Many hundreds were without housing. They lost their houses and everything they had. A lot of these houses were made with what materials they had. A lot with bamboo and different things. So anyway, I don't want to go on here. So I'm really nobody in the grand scheme of things, and can only hope that God will forgive me of my sins and trespasses as I struggle to forgive those who trespass against me. And I can get into that and have a little video about that as well later, I suppose, if anybody wants to hear about what I've been through in terms of religion. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding as no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Isaiah 40, 28 to 31. Used by mankind, men, primarily to get money from their followers. And a lot of these preachers and ministers, they live high on the hog in a big, beautiful home, and yet they don't, it's like, I don't want to pick on one religion, but there's churches out there that are big. We were in Russia, in St. Petersburg, and we saw gold-coated domes. The entire dome layered with gold is beautiful. It's the craziest thing to look at. But it goes to show how people can put money into things and stuff and not the people. And I've looked into socialism. We were in Cuba, and we've been in 82 countries. In Cuba, the people are very poor. It's very sad to see. But they get by with whatever assistance they can get from the government. That's another video for another time. Okay, so there's more that can be said about the 32 hungry school children and their parents who my wife Emily and I fed in the Philippines, or about the typhoon destroyed the island village where I just mentioned all that. But I only relate these things in the hope that others can be inspired as well and do the same. The payoff is immediate gratification and eternal blessings. By the way, in 60 days, I had 16 units remodeled and all rented. I told the owner in California it may take 90 days, so I saved him a bunch of money, and I get to be a hero to him as well. He's also an immigrant from, I believe he was from Cambodia. Anyway, so to sum this up, this video, as I'm a non-denominational, independent, ordained minister, I am at church wherever I'm at. So I do not need to go to church. I can hold church on the sidewalk, wherever. There are a few short stories about the power of caring for those less fortunate in true need of a helping hand. For the record, I do not really trust habitually abused systems of welfare, charitable institutions, charity, most of whom put the majority of money they get in their own pocket, I believe, and what I've seen. So those things are being billions of dollars are defrauded every year, either directly or indirectly, by giving to those who have become experts at cheating the system and the public. We have all heard it before. That is why my wife Emily and I give with our own hands to ensure that our hard-earned dollars go directly to those who are in need. I've got 30 bags of rice. They're 5 kilograms each. That's a pretty big bag of rice. And it's in the back of our car right now. We have a Toyota SUV. And we're going to go out and hand those out to people on the street today. I got a good deal on the price, and so I think it was 10,000 pesos for everything, which amounts to $200. Not bad. We're retired. We're on Social Security, a limited income, but we do what we can. We live in a nice condo, 2-bedroom. It's rented. We pay about $1,000 a month for our rent in this nice condo, our food, utilities, everything. So we have a lot to be thankful for. There's many scriptures I'd like to quote about helping those in need, storing up our treasures in heaven. I am a friend of Jesus. I am Donald J. Leske II, Christian minister and honorary doctor of divinity. I think I unplugged my other device there. So anyway, I'll catch up with that a little later. God bless to everybody. I don't ask for money. We don't solicit funds from anybody. Whatever we can do, we do with our own hands, with our own money, as small as it may be. If we can help one person, or if we can help 100, it's all good.
Still haven't heard anything from you. You say love is a fool, and so I am too. I really don't know if it's good enough. 'Cause baby, little by little you wear me down. Little by little my actions won't be forgiven. I wish I could be sorry for